have talked a lot about the physicalities and activating the different systems. And I mentioned a little bit earlier about the consciousness of the parasites and that they know when there's a trap door open or, they want to survive. And as long as you have a favorable environment for them to thrive, they're going to try and survive as long as they can. Saying that, kind of tapping into the mental aspect. I did say something about activating the mind, having your own thoughts about knowing to stay calm, even though you know and are aware that there's parasites within. Where a lot of my clients will panic and get them out. I have to talk to them about staying calm and being mentally prepared to do what they need to do to activate and build before they start cleansing. Doing the proper steps so that they can get healthy and eliminate them naturally. But now going into the parasites themselves and kind of a little bit more on that mental side, being a holistic practice, we look at all the aspects, not just the physical, but the mental, emotional as well. And I've tapped into a little bit of it, but here we go. Parasites themselves have their own consciousness, and they can, in order to survive, they will feed you their thoughts, through mental, emotional, vibrationally. They want to survive, so they will tap into your nervous system. They will tap into your energetic system to say, in order for them to survive, feed me sugar, feed me, whatever, and they will set up a craving within your systems so that you continue to feed them what they want. They will work when they tap into the nervous system, they can make you more anxious, more nervous, because when you're out of balance, you do those certain moods or behaviors will create that stress in the body, which creates an acidic environment for them, so they can continue to thrive. So they are able to tap into that. Why? Because it really comes down to that. Every thought that you have affects your being, wellness. It is, your own thoughts create energetic patterns throughout your body. And that's where it's really important to stay calm, like I said, when finding out that there's parasites. But it goes true for all of, overall health. That's why, positive thinking or affirmations are so important, because every thought you have affects your behaviors and who you are and how you're able to handle things. Why, I guess, is that every thought puts an energetic pattern throughout your cells being mostly water, or should be. The water is a conductor, and so those thought patterns, that energetic pattern, is then spread out through every single cell, meaning your nerve endings. A nerve impulse can go from head to toe within a millisecond. So it's very quick to have that thought pattern energetically go throughout your whole body, affecting how healthy you are, or what, if you're holding on or stuck in a situation. Is what are you thinking? What are those thoughts? It's that system, and the way that your thoughts work is how the parasite thoughts gets in there. They're within that host. They're within that fluid. Their thoughts then can radiate out and create that environment that they're seeking. So it's very important to even realize that some behaviors or moods, including anxiety, depression, paranoia, sorry, all the different mental cravings and out of character behavior, emotional imbalances can be created because of the parasites that are within. Being mindful of that, aware, you can tune in to some extent, and with that mindfulness and raising that mindfulness, knowing what are your thoughts versus what are the parasitical thoughts, what's the unhealthy thoughts. And it takes time, whether it's parasitical thoughts or just old patterns that are haunting you for whatever reason. It's a matter of retraining the brain. I teach another signature class called Rainbow Therapy, but really working with a mindfulness, a way of working with the body and changing the effects of your energetics, is thinking of your brain and your thought patterns as a field, a meadow of grass. And the more often you have a thought, that there's a nerve pathway that forms with that thought. And it's like walking through the grass. First time you have that thought, it's like walking through the grass and it's an open field. Nothing really changes, nothing happens. The more often you have that thought, the more that nerve pathway develops, which then creates a pathway through the grass. Pretty soon you have a deep, wide path that's now dirt versus the grass, because you've embedded it down. And then that's the easy path. The thoughts go through there a lot easier because now there's a path that's formed. There's nothing holding it back. So the more we dwell on certain thoughts, and the more we feel those thoughts, the wider that path can get. So as our parasites create parasitical thoughts, negative thoughts, anxiety, cravings, whatever it might be, these pathways get pretty big. It takes a little bit, it takes some time, but to redirect those thoughts, being mindful and understanding and aware of this, you can stop those thoughts. As you start having them, say, no, you know what? I'm not going to think that thought. I'm going to come over here and start creating a new pathway. Start thinking positively. I'm going to get above this. I'm going to stop the parasite thought in its tracks and start thinking, I'm healthy, I'm well, I am, vibrant with health, I'm, whatever it takes. Using some kind of affirmation or just a redirect, taking a detour and redirecting that thought. The more often you do that, pretty soon a new pathway is going to open up, just like this other one. But the less you've gone down this negative pathway, that's just going to start growing over with grass, and that's going to disappear at some point. How long does that take? It really depends on how long it's been there. How wide was it? So really working on being that mindfulness and redoing and setting some new pathways for positive thoughts to get through a lot easier. Then we can change the direction of our health, our mental health, our emotional health. It takes some doing, but it takes some practice. Sometimes we can do it ourselves, but sometimes we need some outside help. And that's what we are here for. It's you find some, whether it's here at the Remedy House or wherever you're at, finding someone that can help support you and help you redirect and be more mindful and being aware of that, so you can redirect those thoughts and become a healthier mentally and emotionally, activating that mental emotional piece so that everything else can function the way it's supposed to. Being the therapist, whether it's energy work or a therapist to get you to help you talk through to stop those mental trains going through the negative route, redirecting it. A therapist, a Reiki master, someone that does it, maybe craniosacral or some kind of therapy that helps you shift that. And it would be highly recommended as part of that activating and building portion of, so that your mind and mentally you're ready to handle whatever this is, whatever the effects that the parasites have. Stop giving them the controls, putting you in control of your mental and emotional state.